Hello and welcome to Fraser 365. Thank you for taking this 56-day journey through the letters of John. No other writer in Scripture highlights the qualities of God's light, love, and life the way John does. These short letters will guide us into a stronger and deeper fellowship with the God who loves to shine His light into our darkness.
This is day 1 of the letters of John. Today's title is An Intimate Fellowship with God. David Anderson said, "First John is a book about love. Another word for love is the word intimacy. If you have a growing relationship with someone, you're becoming more and more intimate with them. You're becoming closer and closer." Our text today is 1 John 1:1. That which was from the beginning, which we have heard, which we have seen with our eyes, which we looked upon and have touched with our hands, concerning the word of life. In the beginning, Adam and Eve had a perfect relationship with God. Before the fall, they were in paradise with the God of all creation. However, sin changed everything. The sin nature in our lives attacks true love and intimacy. David Anderson shares the following insight. One of those blocks to intimacy lies at the very core of the sin nature. It's selfishness. Selfishness focuses on getting, not giving. Love, by definition, is giving. But the sin nature grabs and gets. People often confuse love and lust. But the main difference between the two is selfishness. Love asks, "How can I meet your needs?" Whereas lust asks, "How can you meet mine?" So the sin nature works against intimacy because it is selfish. But there is something else contained in the sin nature, which is a block to intimacy, and that's fear. Fear is one of the greatest stumbling blocks to opening up. You can't be intimate with someone if you don't open up. You can't be close to someone if you don't share the things close to you. But we are afraid to do that. This fear of rejection keeps us from opening up and getting close. But there is good news. God has given us 1 John to show how to have intimacy after the fall, to show how we can have our most fundamental need for love met even though there is sin in the world, in the universe, and resident within us. That's why 1 John was written. God desires an intimate relationship with His children. He wants you to know Him and be known by Him. When you read the first verse of 1 John, you can't miss John's assertion that God is real and personal. John had a personal relationship with God and intimate fellowship with Him. Notice the progression in the personal encounter John had with God found in 1 John 1:1. Heard, seen, looked upon, touched. John had heard God speak. The beloved disciple had seen Jesus with his own eyes and intently gazed at Him. He had even physically touched Jesus with his own hands. A relationship with God is not just a neat concept. It's an amazing reality. And genuine fellowship with God is not just for the spiritual elite, but for all of God's children. Consider these questions. What specifically in your sinful nature hinders your fellowship with God? In what ways are you growing closer to Jesus? What is the distinction between having a permanent relationship with God and having intimate fellowship with Him? Thank you for joining us. Have a great day.